But first, we bring you more of our sit down with the stars of Apple TV Plus's The Morning Show streaming today. And I had the chance to catch up with some of the new faces, but Miriam got the chance to talk to some returning favorites. Hi, Miriam.
Hey, Jason. We love this show so much. It's our Mecca, The Morning Show, right? So I got the chance to chat with the OGs of season 1 of The Morning Show who will return in season 2. Mia, Daniel, and even Chip. Check it out.
Season 2 of the Apple TV Plus hit series The Morning Show began filming in early 2020. But when the pandemic hit, filming was forced to shut down. Executive producer of the show, Mimi Leader, and her team quickly scratched the original season 2 storyline to include the coronavirus pandemic.
We had to incorporate, COVID because it was what we were living in and what we knew. This season is about identity, race, examining the cancel culture and sexuality. The season is very different than the first season, but no less, dramatic and fascinating because we have such an incredible group of actors.
One of those actors that had the most compelling storylines of last year was Mark Duplass, who plays Chip.
Season 1 was a lot tough, maybe a little tough for Chip. Now entering season 2, do you think Chip has the itch to come back to the morning show? Spoiler alert, because you're not there anymore in season 1. So tell me.
Yeah, I think what's happening with Chip is, after the explosion of everything in season 1, after being fired, he's having an existential crisis about who he wants to be moving forward. And I think there's a part of him that thinks, screw that place. But the problem is that there is a God-shaped hole in the center of Chip, and something is missing from him, and he doesn't really know what it is, and so he's being pulled back to that lifestyle, and I think in particular, being pulled back to his obsessive and somewhat toxic and unhealthy relationship with Alex Levy.
Now, the person at the helm of TMS is Mia, played by Karen Pittman, who last season went through a series of emotions that put her in the center of the office gossip.
She had made the mistake of being involved with someone in the workplace, and who hasn't made that mistake? But in season 2, we see her almost fully recover. But the challenge is that, of course, she's standing on what we call the proverbial glass cliff as she tries to navigate the morning show during probably one of the most difficult times. The transition into getting it back on the top is what we see her deal with in season 2 from episode 1 to 10. And we see it through the filter of gender politics and race politics.
And 2 morning show characters will have pivotal storylines this season.
You've been through such an emotional journey from season 1 and obviously now seeing season 2. Tell me, what was that like, grabbing the script and saying, oh man, Yanko's gonna go through it in this one. Tell me more about that.
Well, thank you, Miriam. I really appreciate that. Carrie Aaron, who's our incredible writer, I had the opportunity to speak with her. I worked with her on Bates Motel, and we talked about some ideas, and one of them was the notion of cancel culture. I was thrilled when she came up with this because what she does so beautifully is that she tries to pick the most innocuous thing that I would say that would make, that get someone to get offended by and get me canceled, which is really driving the point home that this whole cancel culture thing has just gone nuts, and it's extraordinarily insidious and dangerous, and I love that he gets in that kind of hot water because he really drives the point home.
Daniel picks off close to where we left off, right? He's, I think, like so many people in the workplace, especially people of color, right, just sort of dealing with this this rigged system. And what's so cool about Daniel is that he's vocal about it and he tells him about it. He's like, do you realize that this is happening? And we're also dealing with Daniel going through a very personal journey, right? A very personal journey in his relationship to himself. And they do some dirty things to him this season.
I don't want to say much, but yes, they do. Yep.
Yeah, they do some dirty things to him this season. But I think ultimately, I don't know where we're gonna, where it all ends with Daniel. But the thing that I enjoy the most about portraying him is just how personal I'm able to have been so far with what's happening in the world and my personal journey in life.
You're just so caught up in ruling over your rotten little fiefdom. The rest of the world, they've moved to the clouds, and it is gorgeous up there. This is a battle for the soul of the universe.
So happy together.